Welcome back. We're the Neurotrain Collaborative. This is episode 9. And for the month of November, we wanted to talk a lot about, not even a little, but a lot, about how we're moving into the darker time of the year and what that means and what you can do to set yourself up for success during the winter season. So I live in Colorado, Katie's in Wisconsin, and Kelly is in California. And we have clients all across the globe. So depending on where you are, will depend on what kind of requirements you may or may not need. But during the winter months here for Colorado, the sun goes below 30 degrees in November, right around the time change, which is coming up, and does not come back above 30 degrees until I believe March. So we have 4 months where we actually don't get vitamin D from the sun directly. And this can be an important thing to keep in mind during the winter months. Vitamin D is amazing for a million things. 1, for hormone production. 2, for better sleep, better mood. It helps with pain. It helps with muscle contractions. There's a lot of things vitamin D does. So getting yourself a vitamin D supplement can be a great place to start, and or a vitamin D lamp. I think most of us use something called Sperti. It's a Sperti lamp. That's the company we really like. And it is strictly UVB waves. And it's a great way to get a good solid source of vitamin D. Light is the best form of vitamin D for us, but you can supplement with a liquid during the winter months. Anything you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, I've already started feeling the changes in my own body. Sunlight makes my skin a lot healthier, and I can tell already that my skin is suffering a little bit from the less light that we're having. And that Sperti vitamin D lamp really comes in handy now for me. So if you are a first time user of it or considering it, it's best to do it with less clothing on, because you really want that absorption on your skin. It doesn't travel well through clothing. So typically sitting about 12 inches away from that light and moving it up and down your body, so you're not concentrated, on your face and chest maybe for 20 minutes, but instead maybe 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes on lower legs, then flip and get the backside too. Start low and slow, so you can start further away for less time and increase as you are able. And listen to your body. If you're feeling like you've done it for several days and you're doing really well and you want to increase by 1 or 2 minutes, try it and see how you do. I find that it tends to increase hunger for me. So what that's telling me personally is that it's decreasing cortisol, most likely, and making my body feel more relaxed. It's making my nervous system more relaxed. So if I'm ever struggling with getting an appetite, which is something that happens to me when I am more stressed, that Sperti vitamin D lamp is a really good start. If you have things like psoriasis, eczema, any kind of skin stuff going on, depression, anxiety, trouble sleeping at night when you should be sleeping, that stuff can be really helpful, or helped by using your vitamin D lamp. If you don't have access to a vitamin D lamp and you don't have a trainer like one of the three of us that has access to one near you, using tanning beds can also be helpful. You don't have to go for the full 20 minutes. I'm not even sure they still recommend that, but even just a couple of minutes can help things like gut issues, IBS, constipation, and again, those skin issues that we've talked about, anxiety, depression, all of it really helps with dopamine as well. So consider it. And if you find it helpful, at least you have a good idea of, okay, maybe the Sperti vitamin D lamp is for me, and now I need to look into this. I don't find the SAD lamps are as helpful, to be very honest. I don't know what you guys have noticed. They're definitely cheaper. They're more readily available. They make me angry, and likely because I've had some concussions, and the SAD lamps tend to be a very cold light, and my nervous system does not appreciate that. I don't understand. I can't fathom why people would want a cold light in their eyes ever. So that probably gives you a little insight into how my own brain works. But they are not all created equal. So keep that in mind. Yes, the Sperti vitamin D lamp is pricey, but if you end up working out, okay, this is what a vitamin D supplement would look like. This might be what topicals would cost me to get through the winter if you have eczema and psoriasis. This is what a tanning bed subscription or membership would cost me. It might end up being worth it to get the Sperti vitamin D lamp because they last. I've now had mine for 4 years and it's still going strong. So
50,000 hours is what the watt life is, I think, in those
okay.
bulbs.
And then you can replace the bulbs as well. So it's worth considering if you think that that might be something that would help you get through these winter months, because in Wisconsin already, um, I was in the workshop the other day and I was going to come out and watch the sunset and I was all ready to do this, right? And I opened the door and it's already dark. I'm like, oh, totally missed it. It's coming a lot faster than I expected. So keep that in mind as we head into these winter months, and then share it with a friend. To be very honest, I just have an open door policy in my house. If someone needs it, they come on over and use it. Same with the red light, because that community means such a big deal to us. And sometimes our friends and our neighbors need it too. So I share mine and it makes me feel better about that purchase.
I love that idea of sharing that light because it's the perfect tool to be used in a community since you might only need maybe 5 to 20 minutes per day. It could be used by other people throughout the day and you could share your resources and go in on it together. And I know that the Sperti company always periodically they'll put out a coupon code. So if you sign up for their newsletter on the website, you'll be notified when the next coupon comes around and you can get a pretty good discount. So you can wait for the discount and then you can pool your resources and have a team of people that want to use it together. And even in California, where I live in California, we think of ourselves as the worshiping the sun gods and having a lot of access to the sun. And the days are just short. So people who work inside, if you don't get out for lunch and get under that noon light, you might not get as much sunlight as you think that you're getting. You can absorb a little bit through windows if you are right next to the window. It's good to have that light for your eyes just so that you can comprehend what time of day it is. But to really get the access to the ability to create that vitamin D, Sperti lamp has been just wonderful, even for me in California, having one to use. And it does make me feel more relaxed. It takes care of a lot of those issues that you were talking about, Katie. And I I was surprised because I thought, oh, I don't need one of these. I'm outside a lot. And really, when I'm in my studio working and then the daylight hours are fewer, having the ability to get that vitamin D means that my immune system is going to be stronger. And we tend to have a little lag in our immune system function because we're just not getting that sunlight. There are a lot of reasons why we might have that lag in the immune system. And people tend to maybe get a little bit more sniffly or fluey during the darker months because we don't produce as much vitamin D. And even in places where we might be able to be producing more vitamin D, I think our food has been deficient enough in other essential things like vitamin A, and our thyroid production may be lagging as well. And those things are necessary, as well as our calcium, necessary for helping the vitamin D in our bodies make us actually function better. So the Sperti lamp has given me that insurance so that I feel like I'm overall doing much better throughout the entire year. But it doesn't substitute. Like if we have a chance, make sure to go outside, soak it up like the photosynthesizing human being that you are.
Absolutely. I want to add a point to this because we've had a lot of new viewers join us, and you may not all be aware of how we view sun and metabolism and how this all works together. So if you're of the opinion or beliefs, or you've been taught for a long time that sun creates skin cancer, we have a lot more videos on this. Definitely check out the videos on polyunsaturated fatty acids, or PUFA as we call it for short, because polyunsaturated fatty acids is a long thing to say. Yes, when combined with a diet full of polyunsaturated acids, yeah, you can increase your risk of skin cancer. The three of us, I know for sure, the people that we work with tend to decrease our PUFA consumption a lot. We tend to keep it below 4 grams a day if you are tracking, and that really decreases your risk of anything negative happening with the sun. So personally, I notice that if I have a day where I'm binge eating a bunch of stuff on a boat with friends in the middle of a lake, donuts and cookies and candies and chips and all sorts of things, alcohol, I'm going to burn. I'm going to burn. If I don't eat those things, if I eat the more saturated fats, things that I know are metabolically friendly for me, I don't burn. I can sit out in the sun all day. I never burn. And I don't use sunscreen either. So it's really that combination of the PUFA and the sun that can create an unsavory reaction. So keep in mind, I wouldn't use the Sperti vitamin D lamp, and I wouldn't use a tanning bed, and I wouldn't go sit out in the sun if I've had one of those days where I've had a whole bunch of PUFA, which still happens because I'm a human and sometimes I just want to eat Taco Bell, and that's okay. That's okay. It's just not going to be the day that I use my Sperti vitamin D lamp either. So keep that in mind. Definitely check out our other videos on PUFA and sunlight and red light to get a better idea, or join the Neurotrain Collaborative and you will get access to a whole bunch more videos and a whole bunch more resources and access to the three of us, and you can ask us questions anytime.
Yeah, we do have a program that we're going to be releasing in the next month or so called the Metabolic Blueprint, and it is a step-by-step guide on how to eat pro-metabolically. And we talk a lot about thyroid function and reducing stress hormones. So look for the commercials of that, I guess, or the posts that we put out on social media. But one thing I do want to say too is that if you do have a diet where you're having some unsaturated fats, it's out of your control, you're at a party, whatever, coconut oil and vitamin E both stabilize and protect those electrons. So using those things, methylene blue is another supplement that I would recommend talking to a coach before you try, but it is also something that stabilizes electrons. And so when you have unsaturated fats, they steal electrons from things around them and they create a cascade of inflammation. Those things actually stabilize those electrons, and that stops the inflammatory damage. So just something to know about that stuff. Having a diet higher with saturated fats actually protects you from some of that damage. And I would still say go in the sun. Just make sure you get some saturated fats to protect yourself, and pack some sunscreen, and just don't stay out there as long. Winter months, I do want to say this too. When it gets darker, our serotonin increases, our melatonin increases. This is natural. This is what happens with our eyes. This is what happens at night to help us sleep. So when it starts getting dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, our stress hormones are going like this. Our adrenaline actually increases as well. So winter months, make sure you're getting enough salt. Salt and sugar actually drop adrenaline. And going outside, even if it's for 15 or 20 minutes, can drop adrenaline and cortisol significantly, and it helps convert adrenaline over into dopamine. And part of why we crave sweeter, fattier things in the winter is because we need more dopamine, right? So the things that produce dopamine would be sunlight in the eyes, movement, having a movement practice that you can work towards something, having like a goal to kind of work towards. Those kinds of things actually increase dopamine production, can help with relaxation and better mood stability, and keeping you more here during the winter months instead of here. Anything else that you guys want to add into this?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I was really excited to find the app that we sometimes use if you want to know like how much of the sunlight you're getting is giving an approximation amount of vitamin D. I had loaded this app onto my phone early on and thought, this is weird. It doesn't do anything. I don't understand it. And then for some reason, I don't know if it updated, all of a sudden I got access into the magic that is the D Minder. So the vitamin D Minder is the free app that you can get, that when you put your settings in there for your location, it will tell you where the sun is what angle it's at to your location, and then you can tell it how long you're out there or how much vitamin D you would like to get, and then it will compile your results so you can look at a history and a report and get some approximations. Of course, I don't know how they determine the accuracy of that unless you get some other tests to compare it to, but it's at least a great place to start to know about how much vitamin D you could possibly be getting from your time out in the sun, even in the wintertime. And I found that to be super rewarding as that little external focus. For me, it's motivating to go and plug it in and set the timer, and then it beeps and I go, yay, I've got all these IUs of vitamin D from the sun. So I would recommend that because it's an easy way to track your sunlight hours.
And speaking of dopamine and gamification, we are
Yes,
going to be having a holiday challenge that we are opening up to our entire Facebook group, our online community. So we actually have a challenge that we do 3 times a year. It's 12 weeks. It's a 12-week course on the neurology behind habit change. And in that course, we emphasize 8 daily habits. Sunlight's one of them, of course. Breathing, nutrition, neuro drills, exercise, movement, community and play, well-being, and sleep. So those are 8 daily habits that we emphasize. And we actually have a point thing that you can play with, and you can add points for every time that you do something that improves your sleep, get outside, eat something that maybe has saturated fats or protects you against PUFA or whatever it is. That we have a different skill list that we'll list that kind of gives you some ideas and some inspiration on how to give yourself points during this. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to kick it off probably around Black Friday. So we'll be making some small announcements about that if you want to join us, but make sure you join our Facebook group if you do want to be a part of that. It'll be a lot of fun. And it's a great way to kind of feel a part of the group through the holiday season as we're going through kind of the end of year chaos.
And you get cheered on, and you get to cheer on others as you are all heading toward the same goal of better wellness. So I think that's really awesome too, because it brings in that community and play idea that we focus on a lot too.
And it's going to be, I think, free. So it'll just be kind of a fun group thing that we do as a community together. So if you want to be a part of that, let us know. We'd love to have you join our Facebook community. So anything else? Oh, one last shout out to red light, which we kind of didn't talk about, but red light's also an important light spectrum that we get from the sun. And it increases metabolism and helps with wound healing and immune function and thyroid, everything. It's pretty much everything beneficial that you can think of. So possibly looking into a red light device could be really awesome, or even red light incandescent bulbs. I forget what the wattage is, but we'll post that in the Facebook group as well. That's something that you can do during the winter months. If you get the bulb, you can put it on for hours at a time. If you get a device, then you only want to use it for a few minutes at a time. But that's also a great way to lower stress during the winter months and help with mood and all the things. So anything
And
else?
we're not sponsored. We're not sponsored by Sperti vitamin D lamps or red lights, but hey, if Sperti or Red Light Man, if you're watching this and you would like to sponsor us, please, we would love to have a chat with you. But we're not getting paid to share any of this information. We're just sharing the tools that we have found the most useful in our practices.
Yes. Oh, and one last piece. If you go to our website, ineurotrain.com, that's kind of our collaborative website. There's a products by partners page, and there's Amazon links. We have recommended a couple cheapo red light lamps on there if you want to get something cheap off Amazon. Red Light Man's way better, but that's so you'd have to look him up. And then we also have our vitamin D supplement underneath the other recommended products. So there's a $10 supplement that we recommend that's an MCT oil that's clean. So if you are interested in getting yourself a vitamin D supplement, we would recommend starting there. All right, you guys. Well,
Awesome.
anything else that you want to add?
That covers it.
All right. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Bye.